According to a CDC study of 1,265 long-haul truck drivers at 32 different truck stops across the United States, being a trucker is bad for your health. Okay, we already knew that. Sitting for long hours, eating fast food, and the stress of us non-truckers weaving in and out of traffic all the time is more than enough to bring on health problems. But did you know that the average life expectancy for a commercial truck driver is 61 years old? 16 years lower than the national average. Jeez. Whether you're in it for the long haul, pun intended, or you want to get in, get out, and get on with your life, having a business plan will set you up for success. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a simple trucking business plan and how to build $1 million trucking company with one truck. Ready? Let's go. Hi guys, welcome back to That's Your Money. I'm Linnell. For those of you who are new, I'm an accountant, bookkeeper, tax pro, and I co-own a trucking business with my husband. This channel is all about helping you navigate your trucking business, to fill in the gaps what they didn't teach you in trucking school. For those of you who started your business because you wanted some freedom and you wanted to make your own money and be your own boss, this is the video for you. Today I'm going to talk about business plans. If done properly, you can have a one-truck trucking company, make $1 million in 10 years, and retire early. First, let's get through the basics and then we'll talk numbers. Why do you need a business plan? There are lots of truckers who have businesses and don't have business plans. There were also 640 trucking companies out there last year that closed their businesses in 2020. If you're listening to this video because you want the right foundation and you want to make sure that your trucking business lasts as long as you want it to, that it fulfills all the goals that you created this business for, you definitely need a business plan. It's the roadmap for your trucking business to get to its destination. You know how the saying goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I don't want you to fail. That's why I'm here making these videos, to make sure you succeed in the plan you have for your trucking business. If you plan to get financing from a bank, they won't take your trucking business serious unless you have a business plan. The sample business plan we're going to review today is from a template from the SBA that we use to build our trucking business. Feel free to use this as your template, or you can go to the SBA website and download their template for yourself. Your business plan will help your accountant or your attorney help you figure out exactly which legal entity is the best one for you. So you don't have to start your business on the wrong foot thinking that maybe you should be a sole proprietor and later you find out that maybe I should have been a partnership, or it would have been better financially if I would have been an S corporation. Oh, if I only would have started first as an LLC, it would have been so much better financially. If you have that business plan, it's going to help you map out from the start so you have a good foundation and you can go forward and you can just focus on making your trucking business profitable. Okay, enough with that. There's probably 789 reasons to make a business plan. Let's jump into it. I'm not going to insult your intelligence and read every line of this business plan. We'll just go through some of the goodies so when you make your business plan, you'll be sure to hit some of the most important points. Like in this example, you'll want to make sure that your business plan states the most important people who are the backbone of your company. Once you've decided what type of transportation company you want to be, make sure you include that in the description. It's also good to note in your business plan if you're going to be the sole person at the business or if you're going to have partners. Once you've done your research on legal entities and you've decided which one your company will be, make sure you include that in your business plan. If you need more information about legal entities, I made a quick video about legal entities just for you. Make sure you think about and include in your business plan the markets that you want to serve, whether it be specific industries that you want to serve or if you only want to work in certain areas. If you just have a broad plan that you're going to accept loads all over the country, eventually you'll wear yourself out. As part of your business plan, make sure that you map out your growth strategy. You want to make sure that it's realistic and that you'll have the proper cash flow to make it happen. And last but not least, map out what's going to happen to the business if something happens to you, if something happens to one of your partners, if one of you dies, if one of you decides to sell your part of the business, if one of you want out of the business. What happens if one of your partners die and then their son or daughter inherits their portion of the business? And they don't know jack about trucking? Are you going to get key man insurance so that you can buy that person out? Okay, enough about business plan. Now the real reason you're here. How to build $1 million trucking company with just one truck. So these were our projections for our first year profit and loss statement with one truck. As I stated in my previous videos, these are rough numbers. This was the plan that was in place before we actually even got on the road. With anticipated revenue of $2.50 a mile and the expected expenses to be about $1.71 a mile, the operating income was going to be about 79 cents a mile. So we compared that to how much he was making as a company driver. We expected an average rate of $2.50 a mile. For the routes my husband was driving, we expected him to drive about 2,750 miles a week. So we expected to gross about $68.75 a week. Because he found a niche and he doesn't crisscross the country, he can be home on weekends, and he usually takes 4 weeks a year off. Every year we plan for the truck to be down for a couple weeks for repairs. But because the truck is pretty much new, the truck is usually not down for more than a couple days. So we planned that first year to be about 126,000 miles on the road, and we expected the gross income to be about 316,000. Now on to the expenses. We expected the truck payments to be about $3,000 a month, $36,000 a year. The insurance quote that we received was about $23,000 a year. Because our business is an S corporation, the owner has to take a reasonable salary. To estimate how much your fuel is going to be, you'll take the total amount of miles that you plan to drive, divided by the average miles per gallon that the truck does, and multiply that by an average fuel rate. So that brought us to $54,000. There's some behind the scenes calculations with the repairs, maintenance, and tires, but we anticipated around $10,000 to cover things like oil changes, truck and trailer wash, and other repairs that might not be covered under the warranty. If you saw our other video on how to start a trucking business, I talked about the taxes and licenses that we had to get. This line here includes the $1,400 for the IRP, the $550 for the 2290, some other taxes and licensing that's needed during the first year. And also because this business is an S corporation, we pay estimated federal and state payroll taxes every quarter. I do our accounting and bookkeeping, but when we were planning our expenses for the trucking business, we included the normal rates for these services. And then we have miscellaneous of $15,000. So during the first year, we anticipated $316,000 in revenue and $216,000 in expenses for an operating income of $100,000. For this business, we had an initial investment of $30,000, using about $17,000 for the truck down payment, $5,000 for the startup costs, which was mentioned in our video of how to start your trucking business, and $8,000 in reserves for the unexpected expenses that might arise when you're starting a trucking business. We expected to add $100,000 from the operating income. We knew that our break-even point was going to be 3 months, and we'd be able to repay the $30,000. After that, we expected to have owner's distributions of $60,000. So all in all, the first year profit and loss statement was showing us that we have revenue coming in at $300,000, expenses going out at $200,000, operating income of $100,000. From that $100,000, we'd be able to take out $60,000 in distribution, pay taxes of $15,000, and have $25,000 at the end of the first year. Before I end the video, I'm going to review with you what a month-by-month cash flow would look like. Before we do that, here's a bonus tip. If you're a one-truck trucking company and you drive your own truck, if this was your budget and you lived off the salary of $69,000 a year, which is about the average salary in 2021, and you paid yourself this owner's distribution of $60,000, but instead of putting it in your pocket, you invested that $60,000 for the next 10 years. If you plug that into an investment calculator, let's say you're 40 and you're going to retire when you're 50. Even if you have nothing in retirement savings right now and you contribute $5,000 a month, that contribution, at a 12% return in 10 years, you'd have over $1 million. If you did this longer than 10 years, the results would increase exponentially. If you remember, we were expected to have cash at the end of the year of $25,000. And if you didn't have any emergencies, every year you would have had $25,000 left in your business retained earnings, which would be another $250,000 cash. So instead of working yourself to the bone and becoming a statistic and dying at 61, which as you saw in the beginning of the video, is the average life expectancy for a commercial truck driver. Instead, you could start your business. You could work for 10 years, have a very good salary, stash away the savings, and build your nest egg. Even if you didn't want to retire, wouldn't it be nice to have financial freedom and be able to take the loads that you wanted and not the loads that you don't? To be able to go on and off the road whenever you want it on your own terms? How nice would that be? Here's an example of a first-year cash flow plan. A reminder, all of these are rough numbers. Remember, we mentioned we're not going to drive for 52 weeks straight. We're going to take 4 weeks vacation and expect that the truck might be down for 2 weeks. Once again, I'm not going to insult your intelligence by reading this to you, but I just want to point out a few things. When you're making your cash flow, you can do it month by month or week by week. It's up to you. You want to start with your beginning balance of how much your initial investment will be. And all you're doing is mapping out each month how much money is coming in and how much money is going out, what month or what week it's coming in, what month or what week it's going out. I'll just point out a few goodies. Depending on when you start your trucking business, unless you're paying the entire insurance up front, your initial payment at the beginning of the policy or at each renewal will be a little bit higher than your regular monthly payment. Break up your taxes and licenses into the week or the month that they're due. For instance, most of our taxes and licensing are due in January. We have the $550 for our 2290 in July. Taxes are due in April. Make sure you budget when you're going to pay your tax preparer. If you need any assistance creating the business plan for your trucking business, I'll leave a link for my website that has my contact information. Okay, that's your money for today. Please hit the like button and be sure to share this video with someone else who's planning to start their own trucking business.